training summoning on a fresh account is extremely painful because getting charms is the biggest problem. And then of course, if it's a very fresh account, you do lack some combat stats to do very good methods, which most people will say to kill Hellhounds. However, Hellhounds on average, if you're killing them with the absolute best armor and a cannon, you can expect to get about 350 gold charms an hour, which is not good whatsoever because there's a better method which I'm pretty sure very few people do realize just how overpowered this method is. For that, you want to make your way to the Fremenic Providence Lodestone. If you do not know where that is, it's simply north of the Shears village. And then if you don't know where Shears village is, it's to the northwest of the Falador. So you'll just want to run, make your way there, unlock the lodestone if you do have access to that, and we'll be making our way to Relica. As for the gear, pretty much you can do this with anything. For melee, it's extremely good to have a Dragon 2H sword minimum, although you could do this with Runite or even adamant armor and a weapon. Just make sure to bring food if you're very low level, as over time, if you do expect to stay here for like an hour or so, you can start to see your health dropping over time. So once we're at the little docks, you'll notice that we'll want to go all the way to the west. If you have not completed the Fremenic Trials quest, you want to speak to Javar and you want to pay him 1,000 coins so that you have access to the Waterbirth dungeon. If you have completed the Fremenic Trials quest, you don't have to pay him the 1,000 coins. From here, you want to make your way southwest into the dungeon. Enter the cave, and for the testing, I did this with no armor and a Ceradoman God Sword that is a level 75 weapon. So again, if you are using like a level 30 or 40 tier weapon, it could affect these rates. It just depends, because sometimes I pretty much AFK this a little bit while paying attention, since again I did do this for about 3 hours worth of testing to get the average. So you want to enter the dungeon, although sometimes it will prompt you a message. Just hit yes, you don't care that it's a dangerous area, and we'll be going to the northeast corner, in which case you will see a gate. Go through the door and you want to run east. After you run east a little bit, you'll notice that the Dagnauts are attacking you. So just pretty much just kill them. And if you do have a charming imp, this is amazing because we will be killing giant rock crabs, which if you're not close to them, they will actually be a boulder. They will be unattackable. So you just want to like go close to the boulder, and then they'll spawn usually when you're not attacking anything. And then since if this is like a super fresh account and you don't have access to the imp charmer, you actually want to go to the settings, gameplay, item drops, loot system, and then multiple items open inventory. That way when you attempt to pick up an item, you will see the items nearby available, in which case you can hit spacebar and it'll pick up everything. And then once you killed the little rock crab nearby, you want to slowly make your way to the east of the whole dungeon. Now what's so important about these giant rock crabs is that they drop 3 charms at once. Not all 3 charms, they just have a possibility of dropping a random one, as you can tell in my chat box. And then if you are using a charming potion, which I highly suggest you not to use, it will increase the charms from 3 to 4. So it just gives you 1 extra charm, which, I mean, it could add up, but I would not really bother with that, since you'll only be pretty much doing this method from 1 summoning all the way up to about 60 or 58, depending how high you actually want to do this method, because gold charms are extremely common, and in fact, you can safely expect to get about, and again, I did this for 3 hours worth. You can get on average of 1,251 gold charms, 171 green charms, 90 crimson charms, and 22 blue charms. Now, again, since this is for a low summoning guide pretty much, you want to keep the crimson and blue charms and wait until you're a higher summoning level, because these are the rarest of the charms and they give the most experience. It's just blue charms are pretty commonly, if you are doing this method, and again, you get 1,251 of these charms. And then once you do the Wolf Whistle quest, it gets you from 1 summoning all the way to 5, and it will give you 275 gold charms, so it should get you to 22 summoning. And then afterwards, make your way here, kill these giant rock crabs for at least an hour or so. You can use the green charms right away, and I believe you could make like the desert wyvern that does require buckets of sand. And then after you do that, you should probably be able to make some better charms with the gold. And then pretty much you want to do this method, and again, I did this to 58 summoning. At 52, you unlock the Spirit Terror Bird, and at 58, well, honestly, I kind of got tired, although you could stop at 56 and use the blue charms for a Steel Minotaur, which is amazing experience. As for the other drops, you can expect to get about 2 medium clue scrolls an hour. Very rarely they will drop a dwarfweed herb and a cantadine, which I forgot to pick up. And then they do drop several other herbs and seeds. It's just they drop so much junk that I don't really pick up a lot of stuff. But yeah, this is pretty much the best possible way of getting 52 summoning, unless like you're just bought your stats pretty much for using the Squeal of Fortune, in which case you could do the Arc Glacier, although this is better for speed wise for low level charms so that you can get your summoning up a little bit quicker. With that, thank you all so much for watching this guide on how to train summoning on the very low levels. And one more thing to note is that you can get rock shell boots, gloves, which is tier 50 armor that you can pretty much sell to the Grand Exchange, or you could get like the rock chunk, split, and a shard, I believe it is, and that makes the helmet, plate body, and plate legs. Thank you all so much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your day. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, as it really does help.